I'm Gina Rourke, Manomet Senior Director of Marketing and Communications. I'll be your MC today. If you're new to Manomet, a little background on our organization. We use science and collaboration to reverse shorebird decline, promote coastal resiliency, and educate and inspire the next generation of conservationists across the Western Hemisphere. And if you're a friend, a volunteer, a trustee, counselor, or donor to Manomet already, then thank you. It is only with your support that we can continue to get our boots muddy doing hands-on science in collaboration with our local partners. Just a couple housekeeping notes today before we start. We'd love for attendees to type into the chat where you're all zooming in from. I think we have people from across the Western Hemisphere, so I'd love to hear from you. And then after that, we're going to reserve the chat for any tech issues you might be having. And after Marina's presentation, we welcome your curiosity. So please type any questions you have into the Q&A box, and Marina is going to be happy to answer those at the end of the presentation as time allows. And now I'm going to turn it over to Marina Castellino. The floor is yours, Marina.
Thank you so much, Jean, for that introduction. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Marina Castellino, and I'm here from Córdoba, Argentina. I'm going to share about this big project that was first a dream, something that we were planning to do to transform the Mar Chiquita region in Argentina, and now it's taking its own flight and it's reaching sites all across the hemisphere. So I'm going to talk about Experience Ambientalia, or Experiencia Ambientalia, as I call it in Spanish, which is an educational program to empower the next generation of conservation leaders, not only in Argentina, but hopefully soon all across the Western Hemisphere. This program is it was developed by Manomet and the Western Hemisphere Shorebird Reserve Network Executive Office. I work in Manomet as an education and youth engagement specialist. And this is in partnership with Fundación Líderes de Ansenuza, a small NGO based in Mar Chiquita in Argentina. They are the local partners helping us to implement this program. And it has support from the Forest Service, the United States Forest Service, that has been doing this program together with us for already 4 years. So this has been a long journey, and we hope we have many years to come. First, for you all to know, Mar Chiquita is a site based in the center of Argentina. You can see there in the map where I'm located right now. I was born in the coast of Mar Chiquita, and this is a western site. It means it's a site within the Western Hemisphere Shorebird Reserve Network. This is a conservation initiative that connects partners from different sites that want to work to protect the sites and the shorebird diversity within them. So we are this year, 2024, celebrating the 35th anniversary of becoming one of the first western sites. And this beautiful lake, saline lake, which is Mar Chiquita, as you can see, is huge. It's over 1 million hectares. So it's a big site to protect and to preserve. It's a big challenge to work here, and you will see that through my presentation. Ambientalia Experience is a program that we created to promote sustainable changes in a site level, locally. So we thought, what is the best way of creating meaningful change? And we decided that investing in young leaders is key, because they are not only the future, but the present in their sites. So we came up with this clever idea, I think, of empowering young leaders so they can carry out projects and have impact in their own local towns and in the site. And we want to promote this youth leadership in connection and exchange with other Western sites. We want to create this big youth network across the hemisphere. So the program has 3 main goals about empowering these local leaders so they can come up with their own projects, we also want to engage different audiences, not only high school students, but also college students. We work with teachers, and we work to engage the local community. And like I mentioned, we want to connect young leaders from different sites. And this program has 3 main focal points. This is mainly about environmental education. So we provide quality environmental education to our youth. We also work to connect Western sites and to promote an international network of collaboration. And we have in the heart of Ambientalia, the community engagement, having different members, different representatives from the communities, supporting the program and supporting the projects that youth is doing in the different towns. And we work with 2 main target audiences. The program was created to target high school students. So they are in the final years of high school here in Argentina, and they are 15 through 19 years old approximately. But we also have a part of Ambientalia, like a different branch that works with undergraduate students. And we reach out to undergraduate students majoring on communication, tourism, environmental engineering, and different careers that, of course, need to connect with each other to promote successful conservation. And we have different geographic scopes. On one hand, we work locally in Mar Chiquita. And if you can appreciate the map, you can see how big Mar Chiquita is. I told you it's about 1 million hectares, and it has different small towns all around the lake. So we work to promote leadership and have an impact in each one of those small towns. Something that we are very proud of is that we are starting the 4th edition of Ambientalia Experience, and we had 118 students participating last year, and now this year we had over 260 students that enrolled in Ambientalia. So we can see how the community is every year after year waiting that the call for applications of Ambientalia starts, and they are embracing actually this program and waiting for it every year. And here in Mar Chiquita, we work with some cities that are bigger, but also with very small communities, rural communities, and also with indigenous communities here in the region. And that is our strong focal work locally in Argentina, in the Mar Chiquita Western site. But we also work internationally, like I will show you, engaging slowly different sites in Latin America and trying to expand. And also we work with US sites, Western sites that are saline lakes and are connected with Mar Chiquita through the Wilson's Fall Rope. We'll see that international connection that Ambientalia has, and it's very interesting. So first, I want to share a little bit about what Ambientalia Experience is locally, what we do in Mar Chiquita with our youth year after year. We have, to me, the program is like a puzzle, and it has different pieces so we can actually captivate and engage and motivate students based on their diverse interests. So we promote project design and implementation. We do field trips so they can learn from nature in natural settings. We do teacher trainings also to have install capacity in the site. We do online interaction, especially in the time of the pandemic in 2021. Ambientalia was very heavy on online activities, and now every time is less. We do community engagement, and we have leadership training for our youth. Within project design and implementation, Ambientalia is like a movie of choose your own ending, because when you sign up in Ambientalia, you can choose what kind of project you want to develop with your team. It can be a conservation project, it can be a research project, or an entrepreneurship or sustainable business project. And to develop that initiative, they go through different online lessons. They have 6 lessons, 6 challenges. They get feedback and they get scores for each challenge they solve. And they present all of their work in an online project fair first. They share their Instagrams, they get likes from the community, and they present online their work. But we also have a beautiful in-person project fair that is very similar to a science fair, if you've been to one, where they go and you can see them like in the pictures. They go all proud with their own merchandising. They prepare for the project fair, and they have judges that visit their different booths and share feedback and evaluate the projects. And I wanted to share some examples of the different projects my students do. For example, last year we had 18 projects presented in the fair, and some of them are connected to pollution, for example, and plastic pollution in the tributary rivers, about disturbances in flamingo species or in shorebirds as well. We have recycling projects related to agriculture, because this region is very oriented to agriculture. We have reptile projects, because we have some people passionate about lizards and turtles. We have, of course, shorebird education projects, and we have other teams that work to create protected areas within their towns and municipalities. So you can see the diversity of projects they carry out. And the themes of the projects come from their own motivation, but also they collaborate and have conversations with local NGOs like the National Parks Administration or the provincial reserve. They talk with the authorities and ask what are the main issues that the site is facing, and how can we help and do our contribution to solving those issues or mitigating some threats. So the project fair is my favorite time of the year in October. To me, it's like a celebration of youth power, of their motivation, their work is very inspiring. Through the program, because this program is quite long, it starts in June and ends in December. So having teenagers engaged for 6 or 8 months is not that easy. So to keep their motivation up, we do field trips across and around Mar Chiquita. And like you can see in the pictures, we promote inquiry-based science learning. So we develop different activities so they can learn about the geology of the site. Of course, about shorebirds. We have an entire camp dedicated to shorebirds. We help them to connect with nature. And also, Mar Chiquita is so big that is very diverse. It has different, it has like grasslands areas and muddy coasts, and it has local forests. So they go to different sites and they get to see a part of Mar Chiquita they didn't know about. It's very nice to see how them being local get to discover the site with new eyes. Like I share, we do leadership trainings, and we do this through in-person events where they go and learn about public speaking, about what their dreams are, what their goals are, about emotional intelligence. We want to empower them and provide them with leadership tools so they can successfully carry out their projects, and so they can successfully engage and connect with youth from different sites. We also do this mix of generations in which, for example, the undergraduate students that are going through their own path, they come to these leadership events and share their experience going to college, finding a job with our high school students. And that connection also is very beautiful and very successful so our students get more motivated about following a career path in conservation. Like I said at the beginning, we promote community engagement, and for that, we share about the program and specifically about the students' projects in social media, TV, radio, newspapers, but we also work with community so they can do murals in different towns, so they can join and volunteer. We do workshops open for the community, and the idea is to start a movement. Because at the beginning, I remember the first edition of Ambientalia, I think we were 60 people, students, teachers, and slowly more schools want to join, more towns are asking why Ambientalia is not in our town yet, more teachers join, families engage with the program, local governments are more eager each year to learn about Ambientalia and support the program. So we are actually creating this big movement in the Mar Chiquita region here in Argentina. And I wanted to show one of the motivations the students have to go through the program and actually work 6 to 8 months outside school, because this is an extracurricular program. So they have all their school obligations, and after that they work for Ambientalia, for their Ambientalia project. And what they have at the end as a prize is a 3-day summit for the participants with the best scores, the ones that were more engaged during the program. And in this forum, we have lectures, seminars, we have international visitors that come, we have debate opportunities, we have the local NGOs coming to see the result of the program. They present the project. It's like they become, this is the final point in which they become leaders and understand the responsibility they have to protect and preserve the site and the shorebird species. So this is a very exciting time. I am visiting schools this week. I just stopped in my home for this presentation to share it with all of you. But I'm visiting the towns, and the teams are already thinking about the forum. And the forum is in November. So it really works as a big motivation for them to do their best. You can see how they grow during the program. Is very nice. And to share a little bit about the international work, we work with Western sites in Latin America. Now, currently, we are working with sites in Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, and we are also trying to reach sites in Peru, Brazil, Paraguay. The idea is to expand this network of sites that do some activities together. And we do this through a calendar of shared activities that I'm going to show you. And we also have the education part of our Saline Lakes initiative, in which we're focusing on the 3-way twinning that Mar Chiquita has with Mono Lake, which is a lake in California, and with Great Salt Lake, that is in Utah. But we are also reaching other sites, other saline lakes, like that are in Ecuador, Bolivia, in the Andes, or other sites also in Argentina. In Latin America, we have a calendar of activities in which we connect sites through art. Art contests, drawing contests, letter exchanges, which are very nice for students and teachers. We do workshops with scientists. Locally, Manomet has great scientists willing to share their knowledge with my high school students. So I'm very grateful to that, to the amazing team we have. We do coastal cleanups in parallel, like the same day we go out, we do a coastal cleanup or a bird watching event, and then we share our experiences on a Zoom call or exchanging pictures or eBird lists. So we do different activities that have the goal of adding the international layer to the work we're doing. We know there are over 400 Western partners out there working very hard to protect their sites and the shorebird communities. So our goal is to say, hey, you're not alone. Doing education, youth engagement, community outreach. Let's share our experiences. And the Saline Lakes initiative, or our Saline Lakes work, has to do with connecting sites important for this amazing bird that is the Wilson's phalarope. If you are in the US, maybe this phalarope looks a little bit black and white, but I have it here in its non-reproductive plumage. And what we do is connect students and teachers from Mar Chiquita with our sister lakes, we call them, that are Mar Chiquita and Great Salt Lake, but we're also expanding to sites in Canada and other places in Latin America. We also do bird watching events, coastal cleanups. We share letters. Argentina and the US have the same Independence Week. You have the 4th of July and we have the 9th of July. So that's amazing, an amazing excuse for cultural exchanges. We do workshops. We celebrated this three-way twinning in different occasions with different activities. And one of the best activities I have to show is the murals. We managed to have a huge mural about phalaropes and their migration in Mar Chiquita, a few blocks away from where I am now. And the same Argentinian artist flew to the US, first to Mono Lake and then to Great Salt Lake to illustrate phalaropes also in those sites. So this is very beautiful. If you are visiting Mono Lake, Great Salt Lake, or Mar Chiquita, please take a picture with the mural and share it with us. And finally, this is huge because this year the migration begins. We managed to actually celebrate an exchange this year both ways, imitating the phalarope, going back and forth. So in June, my students, my local students from Mar Chiquita, are going to visit Mono Lake to participate in education programming and in the Mono Basin Birth Chautauqua, organized by the Mono Lake Committee, are great partners in this big adventure of connecting sites. And in July, we are going to host in Mar Chiquita an amazing group of students and educators from Mono Lake, California, that are going to visit Mar Chiquita. And the idea is that this is just the beginning, and we can continue to connect with other Western sites and make this exchange something that keeps promoting connection, collaboration, and youth passions in conservation. They actually see an amazing future in conservation, and they understand the need of protecting not only one bird species, but the sites they rely on. And our goals are to develop different materials to study and learn about Wilson's phalarope, since we have amazing researchers focusing on these species and also focusing about the saline lakes decline all over the world. So this is very important. We are creating new materials to share in different sites. We want to continue with this exchange program and make it bigger. And we also want to partner with different universities and higher education institutions to promote exchanges or joint work with undergraduate students. So we can also support youth or young people in different stages of their professional development. And finally, our next steps for Ambientalia Experience. Summarizing, because we have a lot of plans, we want to promote and continue building this youth network across the hemisphere, and we want to establish at some point the Western Youth Hemispheric Council. We want young people making decisions, raising their voices, and informing conservation leaders about their views of the world and how they want to contribute to shorebird conservation. So that's one big goal we have. We also want to facilitate collaborative work and effective conservation with different platforms, or making this calendar of activities something permanent, that every year we have these big events that we can share across the hemisphere. And we also want to share things that are working in Ambientalia with other partners or other sites that might be interested, because Ambientalia Experience is this big experiment full of passion, and some things are working, some things are not, and we are learning from them. And the idea is to share with site partners how to successfully engage youth and environmental education and in conservation. Because many programs focus on different target audiences, or undergraduate students, or maybe with elementary students or kindergarten. And we are targeting or tackling this difficult age that is being a teenager. It's an amazing moment to influence their decisions and show them about the complexities of conservation and how they can leave a mark and really help their local sites to prosper together with Shorebird communities and the biodiversity they have. So that is all I wanted to share. I feel very passionate about Ambientalia, about youth engagement, about education, and I hardly say no. So if you have any idea, any project, if you are in any Western site and want to connect with Ambientalia Experience, just contact me and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Marina. That was amazing. I love how you described the experience as being a choose your own adventure for teenagers, especially given the fact that I have 2 teenagers myself in my own house. But we do have some questions in the chat. And before we get to that, I am going to introduce Rob Clay, who is Manomet's Vice President in Flyways, to talk a little bit more about this work. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jean, and a big thanks to Marina for a really wonderful presentation. So I'm Rob Clay, I'm the Vice President of Flyways for Manomet, and that program houses our work with the local partner organization from the Líderes de Ansenuza and the Experiencia Ambientalia. And really, I'd just like to take the opportunity to congratulate Marina and the local team there in the local partner. Just an absolutely amazing program. I had the opportunity 2 years ago to participate in the forum at the end of the year. I don't think I've ever seen such a group of passionate and committed youth. And at the same time, just such an amazing, dedicated team of volunteers making it happen. You know, if anyone on this call really doubts that a small group of dedicated people can change the world, then I would encourage you to visit Mar Chiquita in November and join the forum. The energy, the passion, the commitment. There is really incredible and very, very motivating, very energizing. And I think many of us who can just about remember our youth and have had the opportunity to experience that, we ourselves come away re-energized as though we were youth again ourselves, and really wishing that we had the opportunity at that stage in life to just to have the experience. Really amazing. So congratulations, Marina. I'm very, very proud of all the work that you and the local team through FLA, the local partner, are undertaking there. I do want to just add something that we don't usually do in a small set, which is a request for support. I feel comfortable doing it this time because this is such an amazing program of work, and there are so many plans for the future, and there is such a demand. I mean, just this year, the demand from youth in Argentina is essentially double what the program is actually able to manage at present. So we are looking to raise something in the order of about $20,000 to help support this program, to bring in another sort of 120, 130 youth in Argentina, but also to expand out following the next steps that Marina outlined in her presentation. So again, I would like to just encourage anybody who is in a position to help support this work to please consider making a donation. There's a link there in the chat, and any amount would be extremely helpful in helping us to build out this work and just support the amazing work of Marina and her team. So with that, I will hand back for the questions. But again, just one last opportunity to really congratulate Marina on a wonderful presentation and some amazing work.
I kind of wish I could go back in high school and jump right on that program. It sounds so fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to get to the questions. How about, we got one from Julie, and she asked, how do the high school students coordinate this long project with their high school education? Is it coordinated with the schools or?
Thank you for the question. This is one of the biggest challenges we have in Ambientalia. So the program is extracurricular, but it has support from the Ministry of Education. So they allow us to go, for example, to invite the students to join the program. And for example, now they are deciding which kind of projects they want to carry out, and we are allowed to meet with them in the schools. But to do it during the year, all the in-person events are in Saturdays. So that is very tricky for the volunteer group that has to dedicate almost 2 Saturdays every month as a minimum to the program. But this shows how motivated they are, because they leave other plans aside to come to do field trips, leadership trainings, community engagement activities. So that shows even more the passion they have. And for doing the project through the school year, the real heroes are the teachers. We couldn't do Ambientalia without 1 or 2 teachers in each team. Some teachers have the privilege or the fortune to do the program within the school, because the school decided to embrace Ambientalia and allow students to use school time for the project. But in other cases, we have teams coming from schools that are focused on mechanics, for example. They don't always get the importance of Ambientalia, and the students and the teachers have to do everything aside, everything extracurricular. And so the real heroes, and one of our biggest focus is engaging teachers. And our way of doing that is creating meaningful partnerships with them. It's not us and them, it's a we. We're a team. We are there to help them navigate issues within their flocks. We call Ambientalia teams flocks. So they help them with issues within their flocks to solve the challenges. We are available 24/7 in WhatsApp, email, to have Zoom calls or whatever they need. And this year, like Rob was saying, the amount of students that join is almost double that the last year. And also teachers are inviting colleagues, like, come on, join Ambientalia. It's a lot of extra work, but it's amazing the way they teach, the passion they have. We are 25 volunteers keeping track of the vlogs and supporting teachers. And this year we have over 45 teachers that joined, and some of them even have been participating since the first edition in 2021. So we have to make this extra work pay off because they are doing it because they want to leave a legacy in their site. And with real partnerships, we found a way of making this program to continue alive, even though it's parallel to their education. So it's a big challenge. And my answer is a mix of things, but teachers are the heroes. That's the message.
Thanks, Marina. We have a question from Lisa, who is at HQ, and she asked, are parents involved at all with their child who is in the program? And she also says, congratulations on the more than 200 participants.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, families are involved, and that's one of my favorite parts. When they open their house to us for having a meeting, helping their kids with the projects, that's when we can really see how the Ambientalia experience is working in the way we want. They are involved from the beginning. They sign up applications and all kinds of waivers and permissions so their kids can participate. And we do almost every month a community engagement activity in a different town. You see, Mar Chiquita has over 20 towns surrounding it, and students come from the different towns. So we visit the different municipalities and different places to host events and to be there in the flesh, so parents and families can come visit us, and they can ask questions, they can understand how all of this is happening. This is one of the main questions we have, is like, how is this huge thing happening in Mar Chiquita? And always our answer is thanks to the amazing partnerships and people that believe in the power of Ambientalia. Being Manomet, our home, and the folks of the Forest Service trusting us from the beginning, partners like the Mono Lake Committee and other organizations that support our work. So it's really nice when families can also see all the web, all the network behind this work.
That's great. Thanks, Marina. Juliana asks, are there other opportunities for environmental education for youth in all of those communities in Mar Chiquita? Do the high schoolers have easy access to this kind of education?
Not at all. In Mar Chiquita, the other education events that might happen is, for example, government agencies providing a workshop from time to time, or other NGOs that are doing research or monitoring in the area might present something in one school, but very isolated and not structured. And even less for teenagers. Like I was saying, we see sometimes workshops happening for elementary students or kindergarten students, but not for high school students. And also the access is very limited because some communities don't have Wi-Fi or internet access. Some communities, we have one in particular in the northern area of Mar Chiquita that doesn't have access to running water or internet. And we have been working in that community for the last 4 years, adapting Ambientalia and going in person at least once a month to work with them. And so for these rural communities, indigenous communities, and local communities, access to any kind of extracurricular opportunities is very limited. And that's why Ambientalia takes pride on reaching to each corner of the Ansenuza region. And we want to do the same when we connect with partners in different sites, making sure that we are reaching out to every corner of that community so all the youth can have different opportunities to grow.
Okay, great. We have one more question and then we'll wrap up. Julie asks, has drought affected Mar Chiquita?
Yes. Mar Chiquita is a saline lake that is not isolated from what is happening across the world and across the hemisphere. So we're worried now that Mar Chiquita is a national park. More attention is being is focused on understanding the water levels and how climate change is affecting Mar Chiquita, and we are working to support that process with climate change oriented projects this year. So we have teams that are asking how climate change is affecting Mar Chiquita, how is affecting the migration of shorebirds, and we are going to rely on our Manomet experts to help us answer those questions. But yes, we are worried, we are working on it, and we are engaging youth. Go ask the questions. What is happening? What we're doing about it? So this is our hope, that our young leaders will not stay aside of these issues, but they will raise their voices, ask the questions, and take action.
Thanks, Marina. Okay, we have actually one more question, which is, how do you get around the different languages among the students that are participating? Is that a barrier?
In Mar Chiquita, is not a barrier. We have indigenous communities that have their own indigenous names for birds or other animals. And what we're doing is, I don't know the English word, but a glossary, I think that might be the word. So they can share how they name the birds, and we learn from that. And it's very beautiful how we exchange across cultures. But with other sites in the US, in Brazil, for example, or other countries, it is a challenge. We use simultaneous interpretation, we use technology, and we use patience, good connections, trust. and a lot of motivation to make it work. So even with the difficulties, the different languages, the delay we might have to understand one another, establishing good partnerships is the key, so we can make it work.
That sounds like a good philosophy. Thank you so much, Marina. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to our attendees for tuning in and spending your lunch hour with us today. If you are looking for more Manomet this week, we have a few upcoming events, including the U360 Commencement and Capstone Competition online today at 4 p.m., some outdoor bird walks. We have a working waterfront event that one of our staff is helping to host. And if you want to be more engaged with Manomet, please visit our website or join the conversation on our Facebook or Instagram pages. And this presentation is going to be up on YouTube, so if you'd feel free to forward it to any friends who you think might be interested. And if you enjoyed today, we'd love for you to support our work directly with donation online if you haven't already. In next month's webinar, we'll hear from Lisa Shibley, who is our North American coordinator of the International Shorebird Survey, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. And now, thank you again to our presenters, Marina and Rob. We at the Small Sit are signing off. Thank you so much, and take care.